200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs have been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no, which in fairness could have actually benefited Tottenham because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park. And don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards, so do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows, but as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
Good morning, I'm Angelina Kelly and this is Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Is it still raining outside is my main question of today, because I am sick of this rain. It impacted a few of the games at the weekend. I don't even want to think about the washing that they had to do after that Grimsby game because the mud was absolutely crazy. But on the breakfast show at 6 a.m. with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoy, they'll be going over the FA Cup, the Scottish Premiership, and they'll be joined by Macclesfield owner Rob Smethurst ahead of their FA Cup 4th round tie at home to Brentford tonight. Then at 10 a.m, Jim White and Simon Jordan will be joined by Martin Keown following Arsenal's dismantling of Wigan. The quadruple is still on. But Nick, what have we got coming up over the next hour?
Morning, Angelina. We'll start with the FA Cup. Premier League teams all made it through. Come on, Macclesfield. We're all counting on you tonight, apart from Brentford fans, obviously. We got Cass on why Dominic Szoboszlai is as good as Steven Gerrard. That's Tony Cascarino, not the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Plus, we'll hear from Michael Waddock at 5:30 on a Super Sunday for Team GB at the Winter Olympics. And we're asking for your goal of the weekend like we do on a Monday, along with your uplifting song request to get us going this week. Get involved on the usual number 03717 223344 or WhatsApp text 81089.
There you have it. Let's get into it. So, Nick, how have things been? Good weekend? Busy? Avoiding all this rain? Because I can't deal with it, even though I'm from Manchester and I should be all right with the rain.
I know, the rain's even bad for us. You know, I didn't really do that much this weekend. I watched a little bit of sport. I watched England beat Scotland in the cricket. Yep. Then I watched England lose to Scotland in the rugby. Not a good performance. No. But what, did you see Mansfield Town's Louis Reed?
What a goal.
Not bad, was it?
Absolutely amazing. He needs to take a bow. That was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it?
It was good. I thought it was quite a good weekend. Obviously, a lot of Premier League teams going through. Enjoyed the mud bath at Blundell Park. Wolves just about squeaked through against Grimsby.
That mud was too much for me.
You've been out reporting, haven't you?
Yes, I was at a Women's Super League game. I was at Chelsea. They beat Liverpool 2-0. And the rain in the first half, the lineswomen looked absolutely soaked. And Sonia Bonpastor, the Chelsea manager, she's quite short. I would guess she's about 5'3", and I could see her doing these interviews with her hood up, bless her, and the rain was coming down. But important win for Chelsea, so that was good fun.
Chelsea in a bit of a mess, aren't they?
It's one of those because...
Bonpastor going to get the sack?
No, she's just signed a new deal.
Right.
She's just signed a new deal. They've committed to her. I mean, she is an excellent manager. Yeah. I think it's just a case of, with Chelsea, they've lost, 3 games? And suddenly it's like an absolute meltdown because last season they were invincible, of course. So it's just one of those. But the Champions League, they've got the League Cup final. They're in the FA Cup 5th round. So it's not all over yet for them, I would say.
But Man City going to walk the title?
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much done. I don't know. There could be a little twist of events, but I can't see it, to be completely honest.
Right.
But yeah, it was the FA Cup 4th round, of course, this weekend on talkSPORT. Arsenal, Manchester City, Chelsea and Liverpool all coasted through. There was refereeing controversy at Villa Park, and Mansfield Town's Lewis Reed had a perfect day.
Coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area, still Chris Somerville! 1-0 West Ham! It has taken them 95 minutes. Hammer blow for Burton Albion.
Manchester City 2, Salford 0. Mark Gay's first goal for Manchester City will ease the nerves here at Etihad Stadium. And what a story it is developing here. Burnley 1, Mansfield 2, and wait till you see this goal back. It is an absolute screamer from Louis Reed. The cheers you can hear from one side of Turf Moor, drowning out the boos that you can hear from the home fans.
Deflection on the cross, Newcastle want handball. The referee has a look at it. He's given a free kick here, the referee.
It's a penalty. That should be a penalty.
Tonali with another drive. Oh, what a goal! Newcastle United are into round 5.
Salah earned the penalty. Now he's up against Steele.
Comes forward and smashes it into the corner. Liverpool are on their way through. It's another defeat for Brighton.
4-0 to Arsenal in the 27th minute. They are absolutely rampant here.
Yes, the quadruple is still on for Arsenal. They beat managerless Wigan 4-0. And like we mentioned before, that goal by Lewis Reed as Mansfield Town shocked Burnley. Absolutely incredible. Scott Parker made 9 changes to his Burnley side that won 3-2 at Crystal Palace in the midweek. But I don't know if he really needed to. I mean, Burnley don't play again for another week. And I just think, considering they've only won twice since October, you'd think that he'd want to keep the momentum going. Maybe that's just me, but there's one more FA Cup game this evening. Giant Killers, Macclesfield. They host Premier League Brentford live on talkSPORT. But let's be honest, it was the refereeing controversy at Villa Park. That is what everybody is talking about. Newcastle won 3-1 at Aston Villa. And there were a series of questionable decisions. I think I'm putting it lightly there by saying questionable. I mean, Tammy Abraham should have been offside for the opening goal. Let's be completely honest. Luca Dean blocked the cross with his hand inside the area, but a free kick was given. That one was painful. And Dean also maybe should have been sent off for the tackle on Murphy in the first half as well. But you know what? Did that Villa-Newcastle game, did it make you miss VAR? Because it's only used from the 5th round onwards. And a lot of people have been talking about it. Let's hear from talkSPORT's Henry Winter on yesterday's Sunday edition. He said the lack of VAR highlighted the poor standard of refereeing.
The officials, first thing is, it's not a great generation of officials. I think they're spread too thinly because they're all having to do sort of different jobs. We need to invest even more in grassroots and in developing. And I also think in getting more professionals involved. Farai Halam, who did the Chelsea game the other night, was outstanding by all the reports. Former player, I think it was Stevenage. So I'm surprised that PGMO don't look more at kids who don't make it necessarily at academies, who trying to get their first contract, it doesn't work out, but they have a feel for the game and actually maybe accelerate. They are accelerating some of their development into sort of specialist VARs and into general officialdom, but get more of them involved. We have to improve the standards, but we can't use VAR to forensically examine everything.
It seems like the grass is always greener on the other side, doesn't it? Because when we have the VAR, everyone wants rid of it. Everyone absolutely cannot stand it. But then you have a game like that with Aston Villa and Newcastle, and suddenly it looks a little bit farcical because everyone in the stadium, everyone watching on TV, they know that the referee has made a mistake. And the only person that doesn't seem to know is the referee himself and the officials. So it is a bit of a difficult one. But elsewhere in the FA Cup, the biggest upset was caused, as we've said, by League One Mansfield, who beat Burnley 2-1 on Saturday. The Premier League side took the lead in the first half, but the Stags fought back, and the winner from Lewis Reed was surely the goal of the round. I'm going to keep talking about it. A brilliant 25-yard free kick into the top corner. Mansfield are into the fifth round for the first time since 1975. Shabana Hearn and Tony Cascarino, they spoke to Mansfield CEO Caroline Radford on talkSPORT's Weekend Breakfast about Lewis Reed, who's expecting his first child with his partner very soon.
You know, his other half hasn't gone into labour yet.
Oh God, is she pregnant? That would say into labour.
I know. Yeah. Well, no, I don't think it has. But I mean, we were all like, oh, it was just incredible. I mean, that was, you know, that's got to be one of the goals of the season.
Oh, that's the record book.
A long way.
That's going to be in the history, the archives of football, that goal.
Boom.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes.
He'll be knocking on your door on Monday morning looking for a new contract, Carolyn.
He's already just had a contract. So
Fine. Done. Okay.
I mean, that would have been quite the birth story had that have happened. But don't forget, our FA Cup fourth round coverage continues tonight with Macclesfield versus Brentford live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m. Over on talkSPORT 2, we've got exclusive live commentary of the top of the table championship clash between Coventry and league leaders Middlesbrough from 7 p.m. Now, elsewhere, there were two managerial appointments for the weekend. Nottingham Forest replaced Sean Dyche with former Wolves boss Vito Pereira, while Tottenham Hotspur hired former Juventus head coach Igor Tudor until the end of the season, which leaves the door open for Mauricio Pochettino to return to Spurs after the World Cup in the summer. Ian Cathro was Nuno Espirito Santo's assistant coach at Tottenham and says the club needs to figure out what they want to be in order to move forward.
Not that they were lucky to have Mauricio, because they obviously identified him and they made that decision. So they done well identifying Mauricio. But I think what he brought and what he represented, it kind of became him. And we know there are certain traditions and certain feelings and the way the team should play and what a Tottenham player should look like and so on. We also know that there's a reality aspect to that, where what actually is winning. Is winning being in the top six? Is winning always being in the Champions League? Is winning being in the Champions League 1 and 3? Or is winning actually winning? And maybe it sounds silly to say that they need to decide exactly what they are, because we're talking about a really big football club with history and with great conditions and so on. But maybe at the same time, it's still valid to say you could probably do with sitting down for a minute and just deciding exactly what you are right now, exactly what you want to be in 5 years' time, and make some difficult decisions and be really ballsy about following it through.
A lot of Spurs fans, they do genuinely want Poch back. And honestly, I think they just need to let it go, because he chose to take a job at one of their biggest rivals, Chelsea. He didn't have to do that. No one forced him to do that. He could have waited for another big job to come along, but he didn't. And it was just so disrespectful to the Spurs fans. They should value themselves more highly than to start chanting his name during games and hoping that he rejoins next season. I think do not take him back. But if you're a Spurs fan and you genuinely want Poch back, despite him running off to join one of your biggest rivals and not even doing that well there, by the way, give me a call and explain why. 03717 223344. As well as that, today we are asking for your goal of the weekend, plus an uplifting song for a Monday morning. Here's mine.
This is what she wants. These are the kind of runs she produces. Oh, what a strike! She's barely had a touch and then produces a piece of magic.
Can I see you soon? We are so in tune. There's so much we can.
Yes, Jess Park for Manchester United. Absolutely amazing goal from the edge of the D, straight into the bottom corner. And that song, See You Soon, Akemi Fox. I'm going to be honest, Akemi Fox is my cousin. She is a singer. She is fantastic. And that song always brightens my day. But tell us your goal of the weekend and your uplifting song. We'll play the winner at 5:45. 03717 223344 or text 81089. This is Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT with me, Angelina Kelly. It is 5:15. Up next, we'll get the best of this morning's back pages and we'll be talking about Dominic Szoboszlai. Tony Cascarino thinks he's as good as Steven Gerrard.
Thomas Tuchel signing a contract, is it because of the fact that the FA were concerned he was going to go somewhere else?
Listen, I think it is. You know, I certainly think he was on Manchester United's list. Who knows, maybe he would have been on Tottenham's list as well. And I think that's why they had to get this done, because what you don't want, if you're the FA, and if you're an England fan, you don't want Thomas Tuchel going into the World Cup with constant speculation that he could be leaving for a Premier League club job at the end of the tournament. I think getting that out of the way, he can focus on the job in hand. I don't think England will win the World Cup. I think there's a lot that counts against England winning this World Cup.
What happens if we lose in the quarterfinals? Does he continue as England manager?
I think I don't think we should underestimate if he gets to the quarterfinal of a World Cup. When you go back pre-Gareth Southgate, which is your argument, we'd have bitten your hand off at the quarterfinal of a World Cup.
Are you going to defend me on that?
No, I'll defend you because I think Gareth Southgate should have won a European.
Good morning, I'm Angelina Kelly and this is Early Sports Breakfast. This morning we've been talking about VAR after all the controversy in Newcastle's 3-1 win at Villa Park on Saturday. Maybe the grass is always greener on the other side. Meanwhile, Rangers' 4-2 win over Hearts has blown the Scottish Premiership wide open. Ali McCoist, I'm sure, will be pleased to hear that. And Vitor Pereira has taken charge at Nottingham Forest, while Spurs have hired Igor Tudor until the end of the season, seemingly because they want Mauricio Pochettino back after the World Cup. Why are they romanticising him so much? It's not like he won anything in his first spell anyway. From 6 a.m, Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist will be here with talkSPORT Breakfast and they'll be speaking to Macclesfield owner Rob Smethurst ahead of their game with Brentford live on talkSPORT. A few more things you need to know this morning. For the first time ever, Team GB has won 3 gold medals at the Winter Olympics. Matt Weston added to his success in the men's skeleton by taking the mixed team title alongside Tabby Stoker. Charlotte Banks and Hugh Nightingale won gold in the snowboard cross as well. We'll get more on this at 5:30 with talkSPORT's Michael Waydock. The smallest ever Six Nations crowd watched Wales get thrashed 54-12 by defending champions France. There were more than 15,000 empty seats in the National Stadium, with unrest among some supporters about the direction of the sport in the country. And after a seismic weekend in Scotland, Rangers boss Danny Röhl says the race for the Premiership is coming to the boil after their 4-2 win over Leaders Hearts, thanks to a hat-trick from Youssef Chimite. That leaves Rangers just 2 points off the top. Excitement is mounting at Ibrox that Röhl's team could yet snatch the title.
I saw what it means to have a sold-out stadium, to win a big game here at home. This title race will be until the end. As always, we have 3 teams. Everyone do his best, and we are in the middle of this race, and it's fantastic.
As for Martin O'Neill's Celtic, they are only a point further back with a game in hand after Julian Araujo's 98-minute winner earned them a 3-2 comeback win over Kilmarnock. O'Neill told Sky Sports News his third-place side are still fighting for the title.
You feel with this group of players that they're never really out of it. But, to fight back in the manner in which we did, to get all 3 points, and in the manner in which we did very, very late on, very pleasing. Who knows at the end of it all? I don't know. There's a long way to go yet.
For more on all of the biggest stories, make sure that you head to talksport.com. And don't forget, you can also watch us on your smart TVs. Samsung, LG, Fire TV, Apple, Chromecast, Android, Google TV, and Prime Video. TalkSport is there. Right, this next topic, I need you to stick with me on this one. Is Liverpool's Dominic Szoboszlai as good as Steven Gerrard? This is the take of former Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino speaking on Weekend Breakfast with Shabana Hearn.
I just feel like he's going to play now. He's got, I think, about 12 goals this year. He's been on a pretty decent run. He's a league winner last year, had a great season. Is Szoboszlai up with a Gerrard standard? I'd love to know what Liverpool fans thought, because I think but him and Gerrard, there ain't a lot in it. I mean, Steven Gerrard at 25, 26 was amazing. He dragged the team, a bit like Szoboszlai has done this season, but Liverpool did win the Champions League in 2005. And look, an outstanding, if not the best ever Liverpool midfielder. But I wondered how close Szoboszlai was to Gerrard. I'd just love to know if there's Liverpool fans out there who would go, do you know what? Or no, he's not, Because I think they're pretty close.
I mean, props to Szoboszlai. He's been playing out of position at right back a lot this season and has still managed 10 goals and 7 assists in all competitions. And some of those goals have been absolutely fantastic. Strikers against Arsenal, against Manchester City, for example. But for me, it's just too soon. It's just way too soon to compare him to a legend like Steven Gerrard. Szoboszlai will be 26 in October, so he's getting into that sweet spot of his career. And if he continues like this, there's no saying what he can achieve. But by the time that Steven Gerrard had turned 26 in May 2006, he'd won the Champions League with Liverpool. He'd scored 2 screamers to help them win the win an FA Cup final, and had won PFA Player of the Year. So Szoboszlai's got a little bit of catching up to do in the second half of his 20s, I'll put it that way, if he wants to realistically have a CV that compares to someone like Steven Gerrard. And for me, is he really the best in the world in his position? Because I think about some of the best midfielders right now. Arsenal's Declan Rice, Bruno Fernandes for Man United, Jude Bellingham, Federico Valverde for Real Madrid, Pedri for Barcelona, PSG's Vitinha. I don't know if I look at Szoboszlai and say, is he any better than those players, or if he's even on par with them, if I'm being completely honest. But if there's someone out there who thinks that Szoboszlai is better than Steven Gerrard already, or to be honest, if he's even in the top 5 midfielders in the world right now, I'd love to hear from you. He's good, but is he that good? Don't forget you can send us a WhatsApp or text on 81089. Today we're asking for your goal of the weekend plus an uplifting song for a Monday morning. Some of the messages that we've got in: Kate in rainy Bolton, goal of the weekend is Lewis Reed's free kick and Lou Reed's perfect day. Here's to a great week ahead. Tom has said, good morning as a neutral. It seems Spurs fans want Poch's team back, not necessarily the manager himself. Sorry, got to be honest with you guys, you ain't getting that team back. Leppy has said Poch did not run off to join Chelsea. He was sacked from Spurs. Yeah, he was sacked from Spurs, but he still chose to join Chelsea. Leppy also says he was the most psychologically successful Tottenham manager. Spurs' biggest mistake was not to invest after losing the Champions League final. Agree with after the Champions League final, should have invested. But just because you're psychologically successful, if you're not successful with the trophies, that's what matters, isn't it? And Carl in Horsham has said, all this talk about VAR in the Premier League is laughable. I follow Crawley Town. Come and watch the clowns of referees and linesmen we have week in, week out. Suck it up. Premier League fans are never happy. You're right. Premier League fans are never happy. You are bang on there. But get in touch with the show on 81089. And it is now 5:24 and it's time to have a look at the back pages. Nick Ellaby's back in the studio. First of all, what was your weekend banger?
I'm going to take you on a trip to Brazil.
Oh, okay.
It's actually kind of a state game between Atletico Mineiro and Itabirito, but 40 yards out.
Yeah, I'm liking
Atletico Mineiro get a free kick.
Yeah.
Up steps Hulk.
Busca o 17º gol, Hulk, do meio da rua, na perna esquerda, bateu e que golaço! Gol!
If you haven't seen this goal, it's like, you know that Szoboszlai hit against Man City?
Yeah.
It's like that
level.
40 yards out.
Wow. And this is Hulk. How old is Hulk?
He's 39 now, playing at Atletico.
In the prime of his life?
You know the story that we talked about this before, that he's now married to his ex-wife's niece.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird.
It is weird. I mean, props for the goal and everything. Credit where credit's due, but I'm judging that decision. It's got to be awkward. Like, what's going on at Christmas?
You know, Hulk's now I think he's in the top 10 goal scorers with their left peg in club football in the 20th century.
He should be. He's been going as long as he has.
Yes, he's been going for a while, but he does score a lot of goals.
Yes.
Also, Ronaldo's in there at number 9, and he's the only right-footed player. I was looking at this over the weekend. So, starting with the back pages, yes. Obviously, Super Sundays on the back of the Daily Mail. Winter Olympics history. GB takes sensational gold medals. This is Matt Weston and Tabby Stoker in the mixed skeleton, and also the mixed snowboard cross. Hugh Nightingale and Charlotte Banks winning an unexpected gold there, I think. Have you been watching any of the Winter Olympics?
I've been watching where I can, but I'll be honest, you know, been a bit of a busy week. Was out in Brussels for the Nations League draw a couple of days ago, speaking to Thomas Tuchel, not trying to like name drop there or anything. But when I've had a minute, I've definitely been reading, watching clips, etc., etc. But the looks on the faces, I can't imagine that feeling of winning at the Olympics. It's just incredible. But then I found out that the medals are only like, what, 1% gold or something? Yeah, there have been a few problems with them. I think Breezy Johnson, the American skier, hers fell off. Some of them have been chipping. Oh, dear. We had this problem as well in Paris. So I don't know if they're skimping on Olympic medals. But not good. But yeah, great stuff to watch. Also, the snowboard cross was our first Winter Olympics medal on snow. Insane, isn't it? Yes, isn't it? There's a lot on ice, right? Yeah. The first one on snow. This caught my eye. Mark Halsey's calling for Howard Webb to go from the PGMO. Get him out, he says.
Mark Halsey is quite punchy, right? But he's said after what happened in the Newcastle Villa game, obviously you've talked about that Lucas Digne. I don't know. I mean, Wayne Rooney called it one of the worst refereeing decisions he's ever seen. Like the fact that Lucas Digne was never outside the area, but somehow, I don't know how that happened.
How that happened, yeah. And these are the situations where people deserve an explanation. I don't even think you can explain it though, because how have you made that error?
Well, this is the issue with VAR. We're sold as if like this is going to correct all these mistakes, but they're going to they keep coming out 1-2 weeks later and saying actually we got that wrong.
Exactly.
Injury fears blow to Art's quad dream. This is on the back of the Mirror Sports. Ricardo Calafiori is the latest Arsenal
It's going to be the reason why Arsenal have bottled it.
We did this talk, didn't we, around Christmas, right? And they had Saliba and Gabriel out, and Mosquera and Nkapie were fantastic.
Rose to the occasion.
And Mosquera was good again this weekend.
Yeah. I think they'll be all right.
They should be, shouldn't they? But Ben White subbed off in the second half for the win over Wigan. Kai Havertz and Mikel Merino already out. Captain Martin Odegaard suffered a knee injury in that 1-1 draw with Brentford. I mean, do you think is there an issue here, or are they going to be okay? I think they're going to be all right. I think so. Andy McCoy said they had the strongest squad he's ever seen in English football. Would you agree with that? Ooh, I don't know, if I'm being completely honest. Just even with my Manchester United fan cap on, I think I could probably argue that one. Yeah, 2008 Man United, a bit stronger, wasn't it? Yeah, a little bit. All right, that's the back pages. Well, that was a review of this morning's back pages with talkSPORT's Nick Ellaby. I'm Angelina Kelly. You're listening to Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Up next, we'll have some fun with the front pages and find out more about Super Sunday, the most successful day Team GB have ever had at the Winter Olympics.
you know, when you walk into Tottenham, what you see everywhere is to dare is to do. It's everywhere. And yet their actions are almost the antithesis of that. Right. It's a real curious in terms of understanding what are they trying to build? You know, what are they? Is it... There's obviously, they've built an unbelievable stadium, unbelievable training facilities. But when you look at the expenditure, particularly, you know, in their wages structure, they're not a big club. I saw that because when we were trying to sign players, we weren't in the market for those players.
I was stunned. I was absolutely... I thought it was disgraceful.
Did you?
I thought, honestly, I couldn't believe what I was listening to. The club have given him £7 million. He's blaming everyone but himself.
No, we got him a trophy.
Yes, but for his sacking, he's blaming everyone. But when I sat down on the day of the final, Daniel Levy comes up to me and goes, I've been in 8 semi-finals and final, and we all laughed.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? That's his fault.
I don't want to know that. That should be private. The geezer's giving you...
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning, I'm Angelina Kelly. This is Early Sports Breakfast. We're building up to talkSPORT Breakfast with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist from 6 a.m. Some of your headlines this Monday morning. Manchester United moved within 8 points of Women's Super League leaders Manchester City after a 2-1 comeback victory over London City Lionesses. Defending champions Chelsea beat Liverpool 2-0 but are 9 points off the pace. Tottenham in 5th have joined Arsenal on 29 points after an incredible 7-3 win at Aston Villa. England can qualify for the next stage of cricket's T20 World Cup with a win against Italy this morning, and Leeds boss Daniel Farke's excited to be in tonight's FA Cup 5th round draw after getting past Birmingham on penalties. Farke fancies going deep in the competition.
Little cup run is always excitement, especially for our supporters and also for the players. And everyone knows, okay, I have to stay on it, I have to stay focused. I'm very much needed. And for that, for the whole group, it's beneficial. And then, of course, for the club, FA Cup is always a chance with the biggest history in the whole Europe.
Elsewhere, yesterday, Premier League leaders Arsenal thrashed Wigan 4-0. Wolves avoided an upset with a 1-0 win in muddy conditions at Grimsby. But for more on all the biggest stories, make sure you go to talksport.com. Now, Sunday was Team GB's best day ever at the Winter Games. Gold in the snowboard cross mixed team event with Charlotte Banks and Hugh Nightingale. Then in the skeleton mixed team, Matt Weston won his second gold of the Games alongside Tabby Stoker. We're joined now by talkSPORT Olympic expert Michael Waddock. Michael, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Angelina. Yeah, the voice has gone a little bit after yesterday, as you say, the history-making day, the greatest day in Winter Games history for Team GB, and loads of little pieces of history yesterday. It was sensational.
I mean, were we expecting so many golds this weekend?
Yes, I think we were, to be honest. I think with Charlotte Banks and Hugh Nightingale, they were hot favourites for this event 4 years ago. Didn't work out for them in Beijing. Since then, they've been world champions. What you'll know with the snowboard cross is it is a little bit of a lottery, but both of them had that redemption story because they'd both sort of come up a bit short in their individual events. So I really do think the pair of them had something to prove. And then with the skeleton, I actually think it could have been better. There could have been 2 medals there. Instead, it was a gold and a 4th place finish. I mean, we all saw just how good Matt Weston was in the individual event. He broke the track record with each of his 4 runs. And in Tabby Stoker, the former trapeze artist who learnt with circus skills. That's what she was doing before she was recruited into skeleton. She finished 5th in the individual event as well. So we had this medal ambition from UK Sport of 4 to 8 medals for Team GB at these games. 3 golds now. So yes, in answer to the question, I was expecting good things this weekend.
Amazing. And on the snowboard cross, you know, we knew that Charlotte Banks had this amazing speed, but where did Hugh Nightingale find that ride from?
Well, he's an emerging athlete, Hugh Nightingale. I mean, he was very young when he went to the Games 4 years ago. And in the dynamic of the 2 of them 4 years ago, I think we all knew that Charlotte was the one that we were going to be looking at, that she was going to be the one that had the great speed. But in Hugh, what we've seen is a progression through this cycle, and he's been getting better and better and better. And I just felt that he was in the groove for this team event. He was so disappointed with that individual event, as was Charlotte. Both of them were very disappointed with that. And I just think that Hugh has approached that team event, as has Charlotte, and just thought, you know what, we've got an opportunity to make history. And they did make history because they are the first Team GB Winter Games gold medalists on snow.
It's incredible when you put it like that, and fantastic for them to always be able to say that they were the first. And how has Matt Weston reacted to his second gold medal?
Well, he's quite a laid-back character, Matt Weston, and I think sometimes that belies just how good, how focused he is at what he does. Obviously, I went to see him in Cortina just after he won that individual gold medal, and he had a day off between the 2 events. So he was just doing a few little interviews with a few of us that were there. Then he had the afternoon off with the family and his girlfriend. But I think, yeah, he was very focused on coming back and knew that he had this brilliant opportunity to win 2 gold medals. And no Brit has ever won 2 gold medals at one Winter Games. You've got Lizzie Arnold, who won 2 gold medals across 2 Winter Games. But to do it, 2 gold medals in 3 days, I mean, the world is absolutely at his feet now. And I think Matt Weston is a name that probably 48, 72 hours ago, not many people will have known. But I think they'll all know about it now. And if he's not on the front page of all the papers back in the UK, he should be.
Yeah, well, definitely. I have been through the papers today, and a lot of those Olympians that celebrated and did so well for Team GB are there. So can we now say that this is a successful Games for Team GB?
Well, yes, I think we can, because it's 3 gold medals, and that is pretty sensational. I mean, if you cast your mind back to Paris and the Summer Olympics, what Team GB found there was they won a lot of medals, but they found gold medals quite hard to come by. They will ultimately be judged, though, by that UK Sport medal ambition. So UK Sport is the government agency that, if you like, gives out the money. So £32.5 million has been spent on winter sport by the UK government over the past 4 years. So GB Snow Sport got around about £1.8 million of that, which is not really a lot when you consider the athletes, the staff, the coaches, and the fact that they have to train all over the world. Ultimately, they'll be judged on that 4 to 8 medal target. But I think 3 gold medals, I would say, is probably a better return, certainly if you look at the medal table, which is counted on where the golds are, than maybe, say, 4 bronzes or 3 bronze and a silver medal. So I think they would like to get to 4 or 5. And I spoke to Eve Muir, head chef de mission, last night. She's still confident that they might have an opportunity. You've got Kirsty Muir later on today in the big air, the freestyle ski big air. She finished 4th in her previous event, the slopestyle, so could be another medal later on today.
Well, fingers crossed. And quickly, can you tell us about, like you say, there's been loads of great stories around this Olympics, but there's a Brazilian skier who has won his country's first Winter Olympics gold.
Yeah, like often with these stories, when you dig a little bit deeper, Angelina, you realise this is not necessarily a guy that grew up on the Copacabana with the girl from Ipanema. He was actually born in Oslo in Norway, and Norway is the best winter sports nation on the country. He actually skied for Norway until 2023.
Wow.
He's got a Norwegian mum, Brazilian father. They split up when he was quite young, so he was sort of brought up in Brazil for a bit, but mainly in Norway. So he's essentially a product of that Norwegian system. But yes, he won that giant slalom gold for Brazil, carried the flag for Brazil at the opening ceremony as well. But there does seem to be, with winter sports, more, I think, than summer sports, a little bit of a transfer market, if you understand what I mean, between athletes that we've got some athletes here that are maybe competing for their third country, for example, at the Winter Games. So, yes, great for Brazil. They're on the medal table. Big moment. I'm sure that Lucas will be Brazilian Sports Personality of the Year come December. But I do think you can't really look beyond those roots in Norway and the fact he was born in Oslo.
Fantastic. I love that there's a transfer market as well. I'll have to tell our transfer guru, Alex Crook, he'll probably be wanting to get involved in a few of those transfer stories. Michael, thank you so much for that. That was our Olympic expert there, Michael Wader, with the latest on everything happening in Italy. Thanks for getting in touch this morning. We've got some text. True Crime Jill. Morning, Angelina. Great to see you in the hot seat. Thank you very much. It's been a minute, but I am so happy to be here. And we've got a message from Tim. I don't have a favourite goal of the weekend, but I find the most uplifting song is Doobie Brothers' Long Train Running. Well, there you go. You can send us a text, don't forget, on 81089. And it is time for this.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move.
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast. talkSPORT.
Nick is back with us for a look at the lighter side of today's front pages. What have you got for us?
Well, Barack Obama says aliens are real.
Ooh.
But I've not met them yet.
No, me neither. I've not seen any.
In an interview, Barack Obama's admitted aliens are real. He hasn't seen one. The former US president denied little green men are being hidden at the notorious US Air Force Base area.
But they are real.
But he said they are real. I haven't seen them. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States. You ever had any alien encounters?
No, never. Never, ever, ever. And I don't think I would want to. I think I'm all right.
And if you had to put up a player to take a penalty against an alien goalkeeper, who would it be?
Oh, well, I guess because Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Did you say to take the penalty?
Take the penalty.
Yeah, Erling Haaland, everyone says he's like a robot, so maybe he, robot versus alien, maybe that would work?
You know what, Danny Murphy's got a good penalty record. I think he's got something like 18 out of 19 in the Premier League or something like that.
Yeah, I can imagine Danny Murphy wouldn't even care that it was an alien as well. They'd be like, all right, just take this penalty. Yeah.
Tell you who else is banging him away. Igor Thiago.
Yeah.
Can't stop scoring. Anyway, fit the giggles. This is in the Daily Star. Lounging on the sofa and laughing at your favourite comedy counts as exercise.
Okay.
Apparently, it's good for your heart. Melissa Leach from fitness app Yoga Go says laughter acts like a mini stability workout, breath practice, and mobility session. Got any recommendations? Any good comedies you've seen recently?
I'm quite old. I mean, I love Friends. I can never turn Friends down. Derry Girls for me always get a good laugh.
Derry.
Oh, it's brilliant. And recently been rewatching Schitt's Creek.
Oh yeah, my sister really likes that.
Really, really good. Really good for a laugh. Yeah.
Great recommendations. You a tea drinker?
Only herbal teas if I'm being. I can make a good cup of tea because my nan lived with me for over 10 years and my job was to make her a cup of tea. My granddad taught me how to make cups of tea when I was about 8 or 9.
What's the technique?
So you've got to let it brew. You've got to let that tea bag brew. Don't be rushing. Don't be putting the milk in first. You've got to pour the hot water in, help it brew with the spoon, and then go on to the milk or sugar or whatever.
Do you know what? I pour the water very slowly onto the bag.
You don't want to rush it. You don't. That tea bag does not need the surprise of too much hot water too quickly.
Apparently 4 cups of tea a day, builder's tea, can help improve health, experts claim.
Okay.
Strong brew has anti-inflammatory compounds, can help conditions like asthma, osteoarthritis, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and cardiovascular disease. So keep drinking.
Yeah, will do.
What else have we got? Wuthering Heights. I know we got just about time for this, right?
Right, go on.
Wuthering Heights
Go
hit
on.
Valentine's box office gold thanks to women. More than 75% of audience members on the opening weekend were female, as it raised £63 million globally. You're not having it, are you?
No, so I did English lit at A level.
So this is the Charlotte Bronte book.
Yes, I went to Bronteville, where the Bronte sisters lived. I've been in the house, I've been on the moors. I love this book, and for me, you know what bugs me the most? Why does Margot Robbie, as Catherine, why has she not got a Yorkshire accent? Just because they're portraying it, and again, I've not seen the film yet, so maybe I'm incorrect here, but she's being portrayed as being quite well off.
They've poshed her up.
They've poshed her up, but she's still from Yorkshire, and posh people from Yorkshire still sound like they're from Yorkshire, and that's okay. Let's embrace the Yorkshire accent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my biggest issue with it, but I am going to eventually watch it. I'm just a bit worried because it's been mixed from what I've seen online. I don't want to be upset.
It's getting quite bad reviews.
Yeah, I don't want to be upset. I love that book.
I can recommend the 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, the second one of this new.
Okay.
I saw it the other week. Fantastic. Ralph Fiennes is brilliant in it.
Fabulous. I'll get that on my list then. Thank you very much. To avoid Wuthering Heights. Thank you very much, Nick. This is Early Sports Breakfast with me, Angelina Kelly. Up next, we look ahead to two huge games live on the talkSPORT network tonight. One in the FA Cup and one at the top of the Championship. Don't go anywhere.
supported Arsenal all his life, and I just want to say that I fear for Arsenal again because I genuinely believe that Mikel Arteta's sets out his team not to lose. Not to lose. Whereas Man City set out to win. And I don't know how you win something by setting out not to lose. And this is the problem we have every year. We get towards the end, and he thinks that by not losing, getting a draw will be all right. But every time you draw now and the other team wins, you drop 2 points in the Premier League. Yep. And so he's got a tried and tested method of failing. And if my reasons for believing that are, first of all, I've never believed he's going to get us over the line after his first full season. If you look back, I believe there was a moment. There was 8 games left to play. Arsenal were in 4th place. We were 5 points clear of the team in...
Good morning, I'm Angelina Kelly. This is the Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. We're playing that song, Doobie Brothers' Long Train Running. We're playing it for Tim because he chose it as his weekend banger, and your goal of the weekend is Lewis Reed's fantastic strike. Very well deserved. Thank you to everyone for getting in touch. We're, of course, building up to breakfast at 6 a.m. with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist. They've got Macclesfield owner Rob Smethurst on the show ahead of their FA Cup fourth round tie at home to Brentford. They couldn't do it again, could they?
Watson puts his foot through to get it away. They have done it. They have done it. Macclesfield have knocked the holders out of the FA Cup.
I think it's a miracle for on the day. The lads were outstanding. But they were still massive underdogs rolling into the Brentford game.
Jensen's going to go for goal and win the game with an absolute stunner.
This is what it's about. It's about fans and players, and that's ultimately what it's always been about. So fans have to get excited.
Hasn't it shown once again, the FA Cup? What a beautiful competition it is.
Yes, fifth tier side Macclesfield take on Premier League Brentford live on talkSPORT this evening. You can join Natalie Sawyer for all the build-up from 7 p.m. Macclesfield, of course, shocked last year's winners, Crystal Palace, in the last round. Could they repeat the trick? I'd love to see it, but I just think that Brentford will be tougher opposition. They've been hard to beat this season under Keith Andrews. I think a lot of people have been surprised at this Brentford side under Keith Andrews. He's done a fantastic job, especially when you look at some of the managers that haven't been doing too well in the Premier League. And they managed to hold Arsenal on Thursday night. So I do think that losing to a non-league side less than a week later, it would be a real upset. But that is the magic of the FA Cup. We love a good upset. Like I say, Macclesfield versus Brentford in the FA Cup fourth round is live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m. ahead of a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Also tonight, the Championship's top two teams, they're facing off in what should be a classic. We've got second place Coventry, they're hosting Middlesbrough, and Coventry boss Frank Lampard is not playing this one down.
We're not stupid, like the players understand it. It's the top two teams in the league. We're there for a reason. So, yeah, everyone's looking forward to the game. Everyone has to have ultra focus. The intensity of the game's going to be big because Borough are an intense team in their physicals. They're a very good footballing team and they're playing well.
City's 4-month spell at the top of the Championship came to an end when Borough overtook them last week. Borough boss Kim Helberg says his team will be their usual attacking selves.
I'm looking at how we train, how we prepare, how we want to be ourselves in a very tough environment against a very good team. That's what I'm looking at. And then the game will be probably, as always, small margins if you win or lose, but we will go there and try to be ourselves. That's the main thing, because over time is the thing that's going to give us most points over a season and over longer term. So that's what I'm looking at.
And don't forget, Coventry and Middlesbrough is exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 from 7 p.m. It's second against first, so the winner will end the day as Championship leaders. Don't forget, you can send us a WhatsApp or text on 81089. Some of the messages that we've been getting. Davey Martin, good morning, Angelina and Nick. Good show. Thank you very much, Davey. Szoboszlai is outperforming Gerrard's early career stats. Nick was telling me that they have both, Steven Gerrard started right back. So, you know, they've a couple of little similarities. In his first 50 games, Szoboszlai has 8 goals and 4 assists, whereas Gerrard had 2 goals and 1 assist. Yeah, but still, Steven Gerrard, I still think it's a little bit too soon. Gerrard reached a peak of 23 goals in a single season. Szoboszlai currently ahead of the developmental curve with 10 goals and 7 assists this season so far. Listen, cannot take away from Szoboszlai. He's been brilliant. Like I say, some of those goals have been absolutely fantastic, but I just think it's also a bit of pressure on him to be comparing him to Steven Gerrard. I think he's had a little bit of a say on it and kind of said, I just kind of want to do my own thing. But I think you look at them, you compare their ages and what Gerrard had achieved for Liverpool, for that club, it was absolutely massive. So I get where you're coming from, but for me, it's still far too soon. Also, we've got Conrad saying, morning, Angelina, so proud of Matt Weston. He did brilliant in the Winter Olympics. Steven Gerrard is one of the best midfielders I've seen. Definitely agree with you on that one. An amazing, like we say, for Matt Weston at the Winter Olympics. And Darren, a Spurs fan, is saying not every Spurs fan wants Pochettino back, and Chelsea are not our rivals. Okay, only young Spurs fans think that. Our only rivals are Arsenal. Behave yourselves. If it's... I don't know if I'm having that. And finally, I can see Jeff Stelling outside warming up for talkSPORT Breakfast from 6. So just time to play you this. On Friday's show, Ali McCoist spoke to Dean Saunders about Jamie O'Hara, saying Ali was rubbish in the Premier League.
See if you strip it all away. He's got a point, actually.
No, Ali, you never seen him at Molineux when he had his braces stuck in the net. He couldn't get over the halfway line. He used to run over the halfway line and go backwards. He had a piano on his back. He's having a go at Ali McCoist, MBE, OBE, MFI. And Jamie's having a go at you. It's out of order.
Do you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to start listening to that show he's on at 3 in the morning. I'm going to have to set my alarm and listen to it. That's going to have to do, lads.
Wow, Jamie O'Hara coming for Ali like that. I like that Dean Saunders had Ali's back there. That's a good one. But yeah, absolute shots fired with that one. And happy to see that Ali got a little bit of a opportunity to respond there, because yeah, I'm not having that. It's a bit rude, isn't it? But Sports Bar, of course, is 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. So Ali doesn't have to get up at 3 a.m. like he was thinking. And that's every Monday to Thursday with Jamie and Jason Cundy. There's loads more coming up on talkSPORT Breakfast today. Joining Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist today, we've got Mansfield Town manager Nigel Clough. He's on after his team beat Burnley. Macclesfield owner Rob Smethurst joins the boys ahead of their game at home to Brentford, live on talkSPORT tonight. And former Borough and Cov midfielder George Boateng looks ahead to their top-of-the-table championship clash, live on talkSPORT 2 later. You have been listening to Early Sports Breakfast with me, Angelina Kelly. Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist are on the way next.
The irony is, I think Arteta's one of the best managers to grace the Premier League for a long time. I think if anyone can, and I just think we just need to play.
Sorry, say that again. What did you say? Just say that Arteta's one of the greatest managers to ever come into the Premier League.
Yeah, can you not hear this evening?
What are you on about? He ain't won that. He ain't won nothing.
No, but you know he's a young manager. Wenger came second 3 years on the trot, and then he won the league. You got to give these guys time, and you know I think
you just said you've been found out.
Yeah.
So sorry. Do you say that Arteta's one of the greatest managers to grace the Premier League or